Hello, how you doing? Um, One of the main reasons I'm doing this is the fact that I have a lot of female friends and acquaintances. They usually always ask me about different things as far as why men do this, why men do that, and I think I give them good. I give them great advice, but sometimes they follow it, they don't follow it. But I always get questions about why men do these things, and I've had girlfriends, long-term relationships and stuff like that. I don't think I'm an expert about it, but I think I have some knowledge about different tips of how women could be happy in relationships and how they can get the most out of their relationships with men. They can make themselves happy along with that man along with that man being happy, and in turn, that man is more likely going to make you happy and want to always be around you because the love is there. But if you don't know what you want as a woman, that man is going to be hard pressed to know what you like and what you don't like. One of the first things you can do is have great friends. I wrote some things down to at least explain my point of view and what you could take out of it. So I hope this helps. Friends, do you have good friends? Friends are a gift of God. If we have good friends, we should assume that God showered us with unlimited grace. Friends are a gift of God. What does a good friend mean? What are the differences between ordinary friends and good friends? What is a friendship? Let us let me begin with this inquiry by asking about what is a friendship. Can it be defined? What is the relationship of a friendship? What qualities does relationships have? When two people have common interests, care for each other, enjoy being together and helping each other, they are called friends. Is this the correct definition? Is it too broadly covers the areas of a friendship? Basically, when you have common interests or you have common likes with that person, and you generally enjoy talking to that person, being around that person, with no ulterior motives, you build a good friendship. Especially if you guys have, you like the same sports team, or you like the same wearing the same clothes, or you like having the same hobbies. Anything that bonds you guys together, it could still form a great friendship after that. And that's a good thing. For being a good friend, we should share more in these qualities. Is that right? Say. Also, you have some shared interests with a friend. There are a few things that interest you, and there are a few things that interest that person. But there's no. If you have interests, sometimes you might have interests in hobbies that is not as no interest of your friend. Does that make that friendship ordinary? Sit back and count your good friends. Now, count on the interests that you share and those you don't. Are there any mathematical formula? Can you have one good friend, even if that one good friend that you have few interests that you share within each other? Can that still be a good friend of yours? Provided, of course, that the qualities that I mentioned above are plenty. So basically, if you basically love fashion and you have a friend that loves fashion, but on other things you disagree with, and on other things you don't share, but your love of fashion is so strong that could definitely be a good friendship, but it's definitely limited within that realm of fashion. All right. What about caring for each other? Many times we find that friends are careless in their relationship, but when it comes to crunch situations, they come forward with all of their might and show tremendous care. Does this imply that even if your friend is not that much caring on a day-to-day basis, he or she still can be considered a good friend if there is a strong affinity that brings them together? That happened to me a lot of times, to where that me personally, I might not call a person as often, but if that person needed me, I'm always there for them, and vice versa. I have a lot of friends like that. A lot of times, on both points. You just might be busy, have kids, and you just have a busy lifestyle. So same with that person. But it doesn't mean the love is not there. It doesn't mean the friendship is not there. It just means that you have to you have to be more definitive and designate time to really communicate with each other. So, that could be the case. You know, let us talk of enjoying each other's company. Does that mean our good friends enjoy avoid each other? Are they always found together? What if they don't meet each other for a month? This relationship is you can't really define it. Because being a good friend of someone may mean that we care for each other deeply, but not show it always. We are ready to help whenever the need arises. That even if we are not together all at the same time, we love being together. We define each other whenever any external threat arouses. The last test is the final test of a good friendship. Friends may remain away for a long period of time and continue with their life. But when the need arises, they are together. Their share a bond that ties them together. They have shared so much with each other that in the past that the past always carries itself towards the future. So when your bond is so great, even if you don't talk to each other all the time, even if you don't text each other all the time, even if you don't be around each other all the time as far as company or go out or hang out, the bond is still there. And our bond could be strong enough to carry you through many years throughout your life. Friendship means that we like each other. We have shared some great times together. We have value and respect for each other. Unless there's a bond of heart and emotions, no outward sign can make a friendship good. That's very important because even if you don't show your friend, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, you still have a lot of love in between the two. So, regardless or not, the love is still there, even if you might not tell that person, let's hang out this weekend, let's get together, let's do this, let's do that. That's not, a lot of friendships is not bound by emotions and being in an intimate relationship. A lot of times when those relationships falter, those are some of the worst people to be around because there was so much emotion wrapped up. So a definition of a great friendship, especially between two people, is the fact that you generally like each other. You generally care about each other, and generally like to hear from each other. That's just the basis of a relationship. And really, some of the best relationship I've had with women started off being a great friendship. That person know what I like. I know what they like. I know what their favorite things are. They know what my favorite things are. And we could start off going forward just like that. It don't have to be about, just jumping in each other's pants all the time. You know. Next, I'm gonna, talk about something that's very underrated, and that's adding a smile to your life. Adding a smile, even if you feeling like, what, I'm not having the greatest day, could go a long way in how people's going to address you. And this is especially great. This is especially not just for women, but just for all people. But this is especially um, for women who, they're trying to meet that right guy, but life is really kicking a tail. Just smiling and just being friendly can really bring that man into your life that you really want. Because just having a smile is very disarming for most people. So that could definitely um, that could definitely disarm him. This article, um, add a smile power to your life. Add a smile power to your life to empower your relationships. The author is John Kendall, and basically he says people with a great smile radiate a warmth that draws others to them. Several years ago, I was in San Diego. I was in a San Diego restaurant with my mother. While I paid the check, we both noticed an elderly woman waiting to be seated. As we left the restaurant, Mom asked, "Do you notice that woman with a wonderful smile?" I most certainly did. Her smile lit up the room. It was a smile to die for, one that would certainly win instant friends. It was a smile that you don't often see in a stranger. And maybe Mom and I smiled back. I don't remember. Mom cemented, "I wish I told her how wonderful her smile was." But neither of us had. We both received the gift without saying a thank you. Later on my long drive home, I stopped at a fast food restaurant for a quick bite. A 70-ish woman waited by the condiment bar while her husband ordered. She glanced my way and smiled brightly. It was one of those smiles that broadcast I love life. I wasn't going to let this opportunity pass. I was going to say something. As I approached this woman from 30 feet away, her smile melted into a rather startled look, as if as if asking, "Did I do something wrong?" I walked over to her and simply said, "You have a wonderful smile." Wow, did her face light up. And she responded with an enthusiastic thank you. My comment probably made her day, but also it made my day. We truly exchanged gifts that afternoon. Smiles are an instant facelift. Life lessons have taught me this. A smile is the number one feature that makes people attractive. It's a welcome mat. It's what makes folks approachable. People with great smiles radiate a warmth that draws others into them instantly. Some people naturally have a great smile. Others, analytical types like me, must work at it. One way to tell if you're in my category is to recall picking up your developed photos. As you flip through your photos, you don't like the way you look in most of them, but then you discover the one picture of yourself. In it, you look friendly, you smile is broad, and your eyes have a twinkle. Now, that picture looks like you. I hate to say it, but all pictures look like you, even those you dislike. Unfortunately, the bad photos, where your face doesn't look its best, portray how you often appear. In fact, you might normally look even worse since you were trying to look good for the camera. Usually, you're not even making that kind of effort, and you may even appear less inviting than you do in bad photos. And if you're like me, you assume you're not particularly photogenic and that your smile needs work. When you mastered your smile, you constantly look better in photos. Most important though, you'll be more attractive and approachable each and every day. When you're having a bad day, when you're having a good day, does your face show it? You might be surprised. Years ago, I dropped into a comedy club in Montgomery, Alabama. I was sitting in the front row where one of where which one is typically fair game to be picked on by a comedian. But being that non-expressive serious Norwegian that I am, I wasn't given a comic that drew your feedback he needed. I was enjoying the show, but in a straight faced manner. About halfway through the show, the comic interrupted his routine and asked me point blank, "Are you having a good time?" I responded, "I'm having a great time." His comeback, "Well, tell your face." I was enjoying the program, laughing inside, even studying the performer's human technique, but not giving him the outward indication. In everyday life, the same concept applies. You might be enjoying your job but fail to show it. You may want to meet somebody, yet you not give them a single friendly cue. You can even be in love, with somebody and totally hide it. Your face should express what you feel when you wish to connect with others. Smile aerobics for emotional health. One way to become better at smiling is increasing your awareness. Take notice of those you find warm and inviting. Is it with a smile? Make an effort to look for great smiles. Notice the appeal of people who smile with their eyes, not their mouth. The whole face gets involved. Consider the people, consider these people your models. Study yourself in the mirror. How do you look in the rest of the room when shopping and while passing a reflective mirror? Do you look friendly, approachable? Do you really look like the image you are projecting? In fact, a mirror is ideal for a smile workout. Practice various smiles towards capturing the perfect look for the camera. Work on expressing your smile with your eyes. Tip: cut a paper triangle that permits you to only see your eyes in the mirror. Practice smiling just with your eyes. Get used to the feel of your cheekbones as they lift to brighten your eyes. When you see how a great smile looks, remember how it feels. When you can finally project your best smile, hold it, turn away from the mirror. How does your face feel? What muscles are you using? Make an effort to develop muscle memory so you can instantly recreate this smile at will. That's very important. The smiling reminder. Sometimes it's life little reminders that helps us focus on making self-improvements. To set out to find a smile lapel pin as a permanent token of my smile importance. So I usually wear a pin. So usually wear a pin somewhere in your house that makes you smile on a daily basis. After a fruitless 1 year search, I commissioned the design and production of smile pins. Now, when I encounter a total stranger with $1 million smile, not everyday occurrence, I share the compliment. You have a wonderful smile. Thanks for brightening up my day. I like you to have a golden smile pin. Then I might add, and someday you will meet a total stranger with a fantastic smile, and you can pass on the pin to them. This little reminder has conditioned me to search out of life's gold glowing smiles and not allow them to pass unnoticed. I always carry golden smile pins, and when I spot a show stop and smile, I always express my appreciation. Other strategic other strategic pluses you could do. This pin reminds me never to leave home half dressed without a smile, even while I'm running routine errands. It keeps me focused on the smiles as life's truest blessings. Two, by shaping my focus, the pen increases awareness of my public appearance and attitude. For example, when in a grocery line, I don't want the checker to glance up at me and think, my heavens, in the name is this sourpuss wearing a smile pin? It forces me to wear a friendly smile every day. Three, the pen encourages me to compliment others. When I fail to say a kind word to someone who has a beautiful smile, I feel guilty now that what I call a constructive guilt. We often been continued to feel shame because we are not living up to what others expect. But isn't it more positive to suffer guilt for failing our own expectations? Yes. You need the search for a smile pin to remind you. You can choose other objects, like a clown pin. This will program you to focus on smile power. Or consider something that nobody else sees, like a whimsical underwear. In fact, you may discover that the snare strength of just you being aware that you have on a whimsical underwear, will create a smile for you the whole day. With practice, you can focus on your life smiles, and create your own relaxed, natural, warm smile. And then when you get back a roll of photos, you're almost like all of them because you're smiling. You're really expressing the way you want to feel it at that time instead of just frowning. And when you encounter customers, strangers, loved ones, you will always be ready to pass along that award winning smile. It's very important. You project confidence, you project friendliness, you project that you love life. People will always want to be around you. I have a good friend that met her husband because they was taking a subway together, and she was always friendly to him every time they met. They met each other, I think, 5 days in a row, and they kept on bumping into each other. And he just always remembered her because she had a smile on her face. And when it came to, I believe, that Thursday, he said he had to ask her out because she was the most friendly face he done seen in a while. And you know, you live in a big city, everybody's coming and going. Nobody don't have no smile. Nobody don't have no time to talk to you, let alone smile at you. And they've been married for over 15 years ever since. So just that smile, and I don't think she was even interested in him initially, but the fact that she was smiling and very jovial and very upbeat, she's been married happily ever since. So it can happen. Now, one of the things that has been very very prevalent in today's world is online dating. Which is not a new thing. You definitely find the love of your life online. Um, as far as if you're a woman, but you definitely have to take precautions. I'm not really a big fan of it personally, but I do know females in my life that have found their fiancés, husbands, their longtime boyfriends dating online. Then you have to do some things where you have to guard your safety. And some things that, some notes that I wrote down, and I believe it's like 6 things that you can do to make sure when you're dating online, you can date online safely, and be secure about yourself. It's called the 6 things you can do. You can do to safely date online. Number one, your safety lesson in online dating starts from your profile itself. Make sure not to reveal the exact personal details, your real name, telephone number, your street address, etc., in your profile for everybody to see. For the first few weeks, you should communicate with the daters only through message system that is available on the sites. This personal message system keeps your name and your contact details anonymous so that you can get to know each other without revealing your true identity. Once you feel like you know somebody well enough, you can disclose your personal details and also set up a date. And in the case you do end up communicating with a person who turns out to be a creep, they are unfortunately unavoidable. Your real identity will be protected. Number two, once you do set up a date with an online friend, always assure that you do not ask them to come over to your house on a first date either. No, you should never, you should not even have them pick you up at your home. Instead, arrange for a meetup spot at a designated location. That's very important. Very, very important. Three, if you have a friend who is also into online dating, you could get together with your friend and have a double date. This way, you won't be alone when you meet your online friend. And you will also have someone to get away with in a case your date turns out to be a bore. That's very true. Very true. You have a wing girl, or guys don't really carry wingmen to their dates, but you have somebody to tag along with if you feel like things are not going your way. Number four, never ever agree to have your first date in a private or secluding spot. You may think that this is very basic advice, but you'll be amazed, perhaps shocked, may be a better word, to know countless people still make this mistake and end up in dangerous situations. You should pick up a date in an open and public place, say a restaurant, a park, or whatever. If you decide to go out in another place with your date, do not get in a car with them. Take your own vehicle or call and ask a friend to take you there. Yes, all this may seem like too much for you, but better safe than sorry. Number five, avoid drinking alcohol on your first date. You must make sure you have just a couple of drinks and no more. Ask the waiter or the bartender to serve you. If you have left the drink for no reason, perhaps just to visit the restroom, do not have the same drink when you return. Number six, before you leave for your date, make sure a friend or relative knows where you're going and when they should expect you to return. If something if something happens, you at least know the person will be out there looking for you. Thus, by keeping these online dating tips in your mind, you could rest easy that you're doing all you can to protect yourself. And with that worry off your mind, you are free to go out and have a whale of a time with that new online date. That's very important. These are some of the tips I've shared with some of my female friends, and for the most part, it has worked out. It's we've had several instances where it didn't work out, but for the most part, things have worked out because you don't want to be in a situation where you're too drunk. In some cases, you're too high to pay attention to what's going on around you, and date rape happens. Young ladies get taken advantage of. And on the other end, you have men who, they get drunk and high, and you have some women who might call different guys that they know to roll a guy or to rob him. He's incoherent. He don't know what's going on around him. But that happens often, especially in big cities. So meet somewhere in a very public place, a place where there's no pressure on any one of you guys. Have some clean, innocent fun, and get to know each other slowly. Because remember, you have to feel like you want to be around each other anyway. No pressure. If things don't work out, like, listen, there's a couple of hours to find out that you're not compatible with this person. That's cool. But you didn't really sacrifice nothing, and he didn't really sacrifice anything. So it cuts both ways. So you don't want to make it seem like you leading him on, and he don't want to make it seem like he's leading you on. You see, you want to both feel like you mean the most out of things. That's very important. Next, we're gonna go out. We're gonna talk about um, going out and being Dutch with everything, because some people have this confused. Some people don't like to do it. Some people love to do it. So I'm just gonna go over what I think, just some notes that I wrote down as far as Dutch dating. Dutch dating means that each person will pay for themselves when they go out on a date. This method of dating is often the best when both parties are new to each other, independent or just friends. Many people often like to go Dutch because they are not comfortable with somebody else paying for them. This is common with women who are liberal or independent minded in their thinking. It is common if funds are low for both parties. Both people will split the cost of a dinner and any activities chosen on the date. They also might meet at a location or drive themselves so that the other party isn't responsible for their transportation. Dutch dating can be extremely casual and creates the comfortable atmosphere many people are happy with when a relationship is new. Some people just aren't comfortable with someone paying for anything for them until they get to know that person better. In addition, they don't want to feel as if they owe them for anything later. Dutch allows a date to go in a very successful manner without the feelings of them being taken advantage of. In addition, many women understand the expenses associated with dating and don't believe it is fair that the guy should pay for everything, especially if the two are going out to an expensive restaurant and do something even more impressive later. Dating Dutch is common for people who are not comfortable with each other and they're not comfortable with somebody else spending money on them. They're very common. There are many liberal and independent minded women who are very proud, who prefer to pay their own way also. This creates a comfortable atmosphere because no one wants to feel like they're being taken advantage of. Well, this cuts both ways. You have a lot of people who don't care about, paying for a date, whether that's a man paying for a woman or a woman paying for a man. You have a lot of women who feel that, you know what, I don't want to make this man feel uncomfortable, so I'm going to pay for myself. I'm going to show him, I'm capable of paying for myself. Plus, I feel good about that. And, I want him to feel like, he's important too. And a man, men are already programmed where they don't mind paying for a woman, but most men just don't feel like being taken advantage of. So it goes both ways. But if you have that understanding on a date, you both having a good time, and the woman loves your company. Most women I've been out with don't mind paying on a date whenever we have an activity going on. So it all depends on which woman, a lot of women who you're dating, but at the same time, most women don't mind paying when they going out, especially in this day and age, especially going into 2021. You have a lot of women who don't mind paying for a man. You have a lot of women who don't mind, going out there and paying for dates. But just like the men, they don't want to be taken advantage of by the men they date either. So a lot of this goes a lot of this goes both ways. A lot of this goes both ways. So it all depends who you're dating, who you want to date, and who you're comfortable with. That's the most important thing. And once you find that, this is all going into the lane of knowing who you want, knowing who you want to be around, and being comfortable dating that person for the long term. Now, this is one of the things. Now, we're going to go into another subject called dating your neighbor, setting ground rules in the beginning. Now, I've never dated a neighbor. I never really even dated a coworker like that. I'm not really, who's to say I won't date my neighbor or anything like that, but I haven't done it so far. But I've known people who have dated their neighbors, and for the most part, it's worked out because, like I said, they was friends from the beginning, and they already had that foundation. They see each other each and every day. So, we're going to get into, dating your neighbor. She is the new single mother, and you have been divorced for a year. You are contemplating re-entering the dating scene, and you thought you might start by dating your neighbor. Believe it or not, this may not be as easy as it sounds. Difficulties and challenges may arise that would not in any other relationship. Of course, there are obvious perks to this situation too. Being so close to the object of your affection may be easy to see. It makes it easy to see them. No driving means you could save money on gas and wear and tear on your car. All you have to do is hop the fence when you want to and see them. Convenient, huh? This can backfire though, so be very careful you do not turn dating into stalking or even peeping. both could get you arrested. Then again, if you have an argument, things might be a little uncomfortable for the two of you to have to see each other constantly over the fence. It would be best to concentrate on those things that you two may have in common before finding things to argue about. Saving the argument for somewhere down the road. No sense of ruining a good thing even before it gets off the ground. In another scenario, if you have been neighbors for some time, then you may have some of the same friends and been at some of the same parties. Maybe that is where the thought originated that you wouldn't mind dating your neighbor. If you do know each other, the first date together should be fairly stress free and should be sailing along smoothly. Or maybe the two of you may be so nervous that you will feel like teenagers all over again. You two are neighbors. You are bound to see what goes on from time to time, and privacy may be a minimal unless great strides are taken to create privacy. Not only will the two of you get a pretty good idea of what the others are doing, but the other neighbors are bound to see the two of you spending time together. And although your neighbors may not be as nosy as the ones in Wisteria Lane, they will no doubt want to hear the details of your budding relationship at some point. Especially explain things only when you are ready. Let them all speculate about what is really going on and all they want. Because it doesn't matter. It's between you guys, between you two. That there is a possible breakup if things do not work out. Living next door to one another could be upsetting and extremely uncomfortable. Here is where the jilted one needs to be careful and not become a stalker we talked about earlier. In the beginning, while the two of you are still living apart, you may want to set some ground rules to follow. You could start by saying that even though you live so close to each other, that one should be polite and call the other before coming over. Respect each other's space. Do not think just because you are dating a neighbor you could come over as you please, unless this is what you agree to. That's very important because you don't want to be a person like you just met this person and already he's getting tired of you or you getting tired of that person. You have to tell that person, like, listen, this is what I expect from you. We're neighbors. We're going to see where things go, but we're neighbors more than anything. And we can't let that get ahead of anything that we got going on. And a lot of times it can work out because we all work different schedules as far as work. Some people work overnight shifts. Some people work as a 9 to 5. Some people work from home. You got some people work 2 jobs. So if you live in a big city, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to see each other all the time anyway. But it still could, it still could cause some hazards because dating your neighbor is not uncommon as most people want to believe. It's very common. So it's one of those things to where that you have to know what you want, and if that's going to be uncomfortable for you, I wouldn't even do it. Not too long ago, I created a PDF again for some females that I think that might need the information, and it's simple, straight to the point PDF, and it's called 5 secret ways women can attract a man, make him love you, and make him love you always. And I wrote a couple of passages to it. The first one is called 5 Secret Ways Women Can Attract a Man. There's a big difference between men and women. It is a norm for a man to see a lady they like, walk up to her and ask her out. Sometimes as a man you get rejected. Sometimes you get lucky. This is normal man instinct, right? Men can relate to this. When it comes to ladies, it's different. I once overheard a bunch of ladies chatting and talking about the guys that they really liked but never talked to them. They never even tried to tell a guy that they were even interested in them because women aren't wired like that. If only guys could read minds, wouldn't it be better for them? Well, this write up was written to give women a way out. Maybe you have this guy you like for a while. You are always meeting him in a coffee shop every morning. Sometimes you even go to the coffee shop not because you're interested in taking coffee that morning. You went there just to get a good look at him and maybe just you might want him to notice you. Why can't women ask men out? Most guys ask that question. Why is it so hard for women to tell a guy she likes him? My answer to this question is simple. It's by nature. We all know that some norms in this world. Women are stronger, men are stronger than women. They exercise more control. They show more confidence. Men are mostly leaders and so much more. All these contribute to the reasons why women don't feel they need to ask a guy out. Most men, as a man, we are hardwired to take the lead position. We are hardwired to go out there and grab and get anything that we want, that we feel is worth it. If we're so attracted to this woman, the way she talks, the way she carries herself, the way she is, we're gonna go out there and at least ask her out. Things may not work out, but something in me, I have to ask this woman out. It's something about her that I like. You know, number two, most women feel that when they open up about their feelings, they can be taken for granted. They want a man to be responsible for his actions and not the other way around. The one That's one of the reasons why even if a woman likes you, she won't tell you. She expects you to find out through the way she acts. That's very important. Men, if you know how to read the body language of a woman, that could tell a lot. She's not going to verbally come out and tell you that I'm interested in you, but she wants you to figure things out. It may not make sense to most guys, but this is how women operate, and it's not really hard to decipher just based on the way she acts around you. Number three, my simple reason why I feel women don't open up about their feelings is that they are mostly shy. Unlike guys, ladies are not that bold. They mostly bottle up their feelings because they don't want to be embarrassed. But men don't care. What they see, they follow, and if they are rejected, they move on. That's very true. Most men don't take it personal when they are, turned down by a woman. Most men know that's just part of the game, and I'm not gonna be every woman's first choice, second choice. I'm not gonna look good to most women. Most women is not gonna be into me. That's okay, but I'm just gonna keep on making myself available because that's how men are. So basically, women do not know how to open up, unlike men. To increase the odds in their favor, there are those signals and signs of affection to the guy that they like. Sometimes they may be fortunate for the guy to notice if he is sensitive enough. Most times the guy has no idea. There is one thing some girls do to get the guy that they like and that I detest. I mean, it pisses me off. Some girls literally throw themselves at the guy they cherish, sometimes irrationally. Most reasonable guys don't like that. Don't like it. They might just be playing along to get down with her. Well, there's always an exception to the rule. As a lady and a woman, try to avoid this. That's why this content was created. Don't be that woman who's constantly throwing yourself at the guy. Let the man, chase you and ask you and stuff like that. So when you constantly throwing yourself at the man, most men feel like you're up to something. Most men might feel like you're trying to take advantage of him. Most men, a lot of times, because there's not too many women in their life that show them so much affection so early. they might feel like something is wrong, and you have a lot of guys who are like that. So try not to do that. Show him just enough. Show him just enough affection to where that he knows you're interested. He knows you like him, and that's it. Sometimes pull back. It gives him enough room to chase you and want to ask you. You don't want to always let the man chase you. You want to be caught too, and have him take you out. But at the same time, you don't want to always come off like I'm ready to do whatever you want me to do to you, because that's unattractive too to a man. I'm gonna go into some of the secret ways women can attract a man. So let's dive in. Number one, be attractive. First things first. Before you could get a man, you need to be attractive in your own way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should act fake, borrow, and look different for who you really are, from who you really are. That's why I'm emphasizing in your own way. Why is this important? You don't want to give the wrong impression about you, because the real you will soon erupt. You can't hide from who you are. So be attractive, dress beautiful, walk smart, and stay happy. Men are attracted to what they see and what they can hear. I once read an article that said the easiest, simplest way to attract a man into your kingdom is by smiling more often. That's a fact and nothing more. I don't think I can walk up to a lady that's always frowning and looking mean. A charming smile that gives the guy, a charming smile that you could give a guy makes you feel more confident for him to walk towards you. You don't even need to work out yourself. Men aren't that hard. They just look hard, but they are straightforward creatures. That's very true. We are very straightforward creatures. If you give us an indication that you're friendly or you're easy to talk to and anything like that, we're ready to approach you. We don't mind talking to you. Men love talking to women. That's part of the pleasures of being a man. That's part of a man waking up. He don't mind being around a lot of beautiful women. Not at all. Women that he deemed to be beautiful. Just because she might be physically beautiful, but her attitude is not pleasing to him or doesn't compliment him, he's not going to find her attractive. Not like the woman where, yes, physically, this woman might be a little more beautiful than him, but he gets along, they have more things in common, and she's more of a friendly person. He's going to find her will be more attractive and have more self-worth. She's going to be an asset to his life, not the other way around. One of the things I got while growing up was, above all, you must learn to love yourself first. When you love yourself, you can attract love. Loving yourself has a lot to do with looking attractive. Very true. Very important. Carry yourself with confidence all the time. Not arrogance where you're repelling a man to be with you, but confidence where a man will want to be with you. Number two, have a high self-worth. This aspect is really tricky. You have to be careful and not go overboard. Self-worth has more to do with knowing what you stand for. It has a lot to do with how you carry yourself. There is one thing you must know for sure. And what is that? You must understand that you're a catch. You are beautiful, attractive, smart, and good enough. Once you know this, you're not going to have any problems. Don't forget when I mentioned earlier, be careful. So don't go overboard with it. Like I said, it's easy to have all those things, have a high self-worth, be confident and stuff like that, but you don't want to go overboard that you start to repel the men that you're attracted to and that you're interested in too. So what do I mean? Some girls actually take this the wrong way. They act all proud and too big that men that really like them, they get the idea that they're too much. They're not even worth the hassle. So know yourself, understand yourself, know what you like and want. Then you can attract any man you really want to. Very, very important. Have a high self-worth. Be friendly and everything else. But don't be too overboard where you're going to repel him. Number three, be kind. Kindness is very important. Since women generally find it hard to open up, the only alternative that you got working on themselves is showing signs of affection. One of the secret ways you could attract a young man is a simple word of kindness. Just be kind. Don't be too kind and you start doing more than yourself. You start doing more than yourself because you want him so bad. Just be normal kind. Help him with little things when he's in dire need. Do small favors for him. Don't forget you are an attractive woman with a high self worth who is kind to him. That's a kick ass resume, if you know what I mean. He's definitely he's definitely gonna give that a thought. You know when to step in, you know when not to step in. Very important. Number four, be playful. Most times guys like someone who's free with them. When you are too serious, that would have the impression that you are not interested. Be more youthful. It doesn't matter how old you are. I didn't say you should become a youth. Of course, we know age only goes up and never goes down. Play with him. Make eye contact. Touch his hands in a lovely way. Show him signs. Play with your hair, and so on. Men are attracted to women like this. Someone they can spend time with that they are when they are less busy. Being free with him will make him want to come back for a few more meetings. I told you earlier, men are simple. Our needs are very straight to the point. We are simple. Most men, it doesn't take us much to make us happy. It doesn't take much for us to be satisfied with you. If you're willing to do certain things for that man, you're going to get the world from him. If you're not willing to do certain things for a man, he's going to be hard pressed to continuously do things for you, and wouldn't be no reason for him to in his mind, in most of our mind. Number five, invite him in. There's a reason why this comes last. This is because it is something that you have to be sensitive to. The guy may not be interested in you. That's where the problem is. So inviting him in might be a risk. Still, it is a secret way of attracting the man you like. Invite him into your personal space. When you see a guy you like looking at you in one corner of the restaurant, make eye contact with him. It may be actually because you are with your friends. That's why he hasn't come to talk to you. Give him some room. Walk across to the side and order something or do something else, but don't show too much interest. Be careful because men are known to take advantage of women when they have the opportunity to. It's just an instinct men have. That's not all men, because most men don't take advantage of women, but you have a large percentage of them that do, and the ones that do have bad intentions anyway, and you will figure that out soon enough. But invite him in, give him an opportunity, because like I said, most guys are not paying attention to you in the sense where I want to get with you all the time. You know, if you give him an opening, more than likely he's going to walk in. You know, just be inviting to him, and if he doesn't approach you, he doesn't approach you. Well, he wasn't that interested in you to begin with. But but if he thinks you're worth it, he will definitely approach you in a sincere way. In conclusion, I'm guessing you've never heard any of these secret ways I've mentioned in this content. Maybe you've heard it, but you never tried them. I can boldly tell you that these 5 ways has helped many women find their man in a very short period of time. Stay attractive, develop high self-worth, be kind but not overly generous, be playful, and lastly, invite him into your personal space. This is very important, very, very important, because inviting a man in your personal space when he's ready to, he's going to feel like he's earned something. He's going to feel like you take his time with him. And those tend to be the best relationships because you know of each other enough. You're never gonna know his whole backstory, but you're comfortable with what you know, and you guys can grow together. And you create your own memories, your own photos, take your own trips, and do whatever you want to do because you took it slow enough to create that foundation of friendliness. But as a woman, you could find a man of your dreams early enough, but you have to work on yourself also. Be friendly, smile, have a high confidence level, but not arrogant to the way that you're repelling him. And just be confident in who you are and take care of yourself. And you're going to find that man that you really want to find. It's really that simple to say, but for some women, it's not that simple to do. And this is some of the advice that I give a lot of my female friends in my life to where, you know, they come to me as far as why men are this, why men are that. You know, I see you in a relationship. I see you with your fiance, and why is this, that, and the third? And I always tell them right away, like, listen, the relationship I have is totally different than what you may have or what you are looking forward to. So everybody is different. You know, it took me a couple of times to get to where I'm at now. So I failed in relationships. I failed in a lot of things that I had my heart set out on. So I'm not Mr. Perfect at all. But with those failures and missteps, I've gained a lot of knowledge. These are some of the things that I've told my sisters about and my family, my girl cousins, and everything else. The things that I've learned throughout the years that put me in a position where that I have a great relationship with with a great young lady, and hopefully it's for the long term. But for women, you have to understand, men want to be there, want to be a part of your life anyway. He just have to have a reason to be there, and that's where you come in. Sometimes a guy that you really are interested in, he's not ready for you. That's okay. As long as you put yourself out there enough, not overly put yourself out there, but you put yourself out there enough to where that he feels comfortable being around you, and he feels comfortable expressing himself around you, and he feels like you're somebody he could trust to a certain level, you're gonna gain respect from that man, and you can go forward with a friendship and possibly something more. But it all starts with you. Another thing too, you can always do the unconventional things to find a man also. What do I mean? Go to places where you can volunteer more. Marathons. You have a lot of shelters and you have a lot of places where, where the city I'm living in, you have food banks and places where you give away clothes and you can volunteer. You have a lot of people who love to volunteer in those areas. You can find a great person. You can find a great person volunteering in your local city. Take dance classes, cooking classes, go to museums, specifically art museums. Do things to swear that you could be around different people. And also when you go in there, you dress the part, look the part, dress a certain way. Conduct yourself in a way that you're inviting, you want to be there, you're a friendly person. You want to talk. But don't go overboard with it. But make yourself available to be for somebody to talk to. That's very important. So you could definitely do that. And it's very, very likely that you will find somebody at least interested enough to talk to, keep correspondence with them, and hopefully build a relationship. It's really that simple. And you could do it, especially if you live in an area where it's many things to do as far as interesting and fun things. You could definitely find that special person. So hopefully with this, this video, hopefully I provided you with tips and things to where that you get back on that horse right away, even if you just got out of a long term relationship, or you just got out of a relationship where things didn't go your way. You can get right back out there and find a man of your dreams and find a great man that's going to fit your lifestyle and you can fit his lifestyle. And it's possible. I know we always talk about how bad relationships are, but there's a lot of great relationships out there too. And the majority of relationships are good, even if the people break up or they don't get married and stuff like that. You could definitely find a great man. So I hope these tips helped you. I look forward to uploading some more. And remember, have confidence, have self worth, be friendly, and believe in yourself that you can find that man. Because 9 times out of 10, you can and you will. Until next time.